What is up, ladies and gentlemen, with another day of awesome World Cup action. Had some pretty eventful matches overall, as well as a little bit of controversy. But don't worry, we're going to recap all of that and more, as well as take a look at some of the best products to see on field from the day's action, and some of the best of social. And of course, make sure you guys stay tuned to the very end to figure out what the giveaway clue is to see what you could win. Guys, this is SOCCER.COM Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SOCCER.COM Live studio. I am Cole here with Adam and Martin. Thank you guys for joining me on yet another day of World Cup action.
A pleasure as always, Cole.
I do notice you are in Spain today. Maybe a predictor for tomorrow?
I'm trying to keep it up. What did I predict yesterday? Oh no, I was wearing my England jersey. I just couldn't take it off yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. Understandable.
Yeah, but I think Spain will bounce back from the tie that they had against Portugal, where they played really well, and get a win tomorrow. We'll see.
Some power-packed games for tomorrow. I know it's going to be... I'm looking forward to watching. But first, we're going to start with, of course, the first match of the day, Colombia versus Japan. A little bit of... Just if you're a Colombia fan, man, it
was a rough start.
Yeah,
it was a rough start.
Fourth minute, and you're already down a man with a red card. And,
yeah.
And beyond that, you don't have your superstar on the pitch.
Yeah, not to mention that you were what 60th, 70th minute before he even came on.
Yeah.
James.
Yep, we are talking about James, of course. So obviously Colombia's star man from 2014, and really. This made the main hope for that team. But they went down a man early on, pretty obvious handball and the correct decision, no controversy there really. They made a change, which we commented on social, a lot of people were commenting on. They took off Cuadrado kind of midway through the first half. Maybe he wasn't really adjusting to the system that they were playing in, with 10 men. But the change actually paid off in the end because a few minutes later they won a free kick and equalized, and it looked like maybe they would at least get a point, but Japan.
Yeah, you still kind of almost have to wonder if Cuadrado did stay on, would it have brought a different look to Colombia for that game?
Well, I think when you're dealing with situations where you have 10 people on the pitch, you have to make those decisions. If, as you said, Peckerman thought that Cuadrado was not adapting to the system very well, then I understand why he came off. But in the end, Cuadrado is still, without James on the pitch, he's still one of your most dangerous men. And when you're down a man against a team as disciplined as Japan, you have to have someone on the pitch able to create a bit of magic, capable of creating that one moment to get a chance on goal, which Colombia did get their fair share of chances. Like, for some parts of the game, I forgot they were down a man. So they were good once James came on, but I think that 30-minute gap where who was the star man? Falcao, and Falcao relies on service. And if he's not getting service, he's not going to score.
Now, I guess probably one question we should ask ourselves, is it more so that Colombia, just shame on Colombia for going down a man, or should Japan have done better being up a man in that game? Like, was it just Colombia played decent enough that they only allowed 2 goals down a man, or should Japan have done better going forward and attacking and had maybe a bigger goal differential?
I don't think you can blame the Colombian team too much. That was a situation where I think it was Carlos Sanchez got himself into that. I mean, I don't know why you do that 4 minutes into the game.
90th minute makes sense.
Sure, yeah, but you basically put your team in a hole then for the rest of the game. Maybe they score that shot, Japan, they're 1-0 down, but then they've got the whole of the rest of the game to come back with 11 players. I think it was a pretty silly individual error that put them in that position, and obviously they weren't able to come back, but I think that as a team they're still strong enough to bounce back in the group play overall and qualify. I would think so, but let us know what you think in the comments. Can Colombia come back from this and qualify for the round of 16? I know there's a lot of Colombian fans out there. They were very well represented in the stands in Russia.
Especially in South Dakota.
Especially in South Dakota. If you've been watching the show and following us on Twitter to see that infographic of top-selling jerseys by state, you'll know that South Dakotans love some Los Cafeteros.
Yes, that is correct. Moving on to, of course, the second match of the day with a little bit of controversy in that one. Senegal versus Poland. If you guys did not catch the match, there was an incident in the second half where a player went down injured. Trainer came onto the field, which of course means that the player had to leave the field and then had to be signaled by the ref to be allowed back onto the field. It just so happened that when the ref signaled him back onto the field, one of the Polish players played a ball back to over the head of his center back, whether he meant to play it to the center back or to the keeper. The player came onto the field right at midfield and went on basically a 1v1 breakaway with the keeper. There are a lot of opinions on this. I'm going to voice mine and say that I was not happy with how the refs handled the situation, but I want to hear what you guys are thinking.
You have to say that the referees messed up. I think they would even admit it. I'm not sure the center ref was very good today on managing the game. There are a couple of incidents similar to that where I feel like he could have done better. But in the end, Krakowiak, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
even if you know Niang's not on, or if you know Niang's not coming back on, that's a dangerous ball to play over the head of your center back and kind of in between the center back and the goalkeeper.
Just kind of in no man's land.
With
really.
a team as athletic as Senegal, you have people like Mana, you have people like Biram Diouf. They could run onto that easily. I don't know. He had a couple individual errors similar to that. I know he had the goal at the end, very well taken, header. But I was not impressed with the way that Poland played today. I thought they were very unimaginative, and Senegal definitely deserved 3 points.
I'd have to agree to that. I mean, Senegal did look like the more attacking team. They looked like the aggressor in the battle. I did expect a little bit more out of a front line led by Lewandowski. I did expect at least a little more dominance maybe against the back line. Maybe the athleticism of Senegal's back line maybe prevented some of that, but still with the power that you expect from Lewandowski, from the goal-scoring stats that he puts up, you expect a little bit more.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, we'll see what happens in the next games.
Completely agree. And of course, we have to wrap up with the last game. Russia breaking Egyptian hearts. We had Russia, was it 3-1 by the end of the game, with Mo Salah getting a consolation penalty. He did score on his World Cup debut, so props to him. But at the same time, you kind of feel for the Egyptians, for the Egyptian fans as well. But
well, we talked about it on match day 2, it would have been, right? When Egypt played their first game against Uruguay. Mo Salah didn't start, wasn't brought on at all in that game, and a lot of people were saying, could he have played in the final 10, 15 minutes? Could the manager have thrown him on to try and get a result in that game? Obviously, they lost. They didn't get a result in this game either. They now have 0 points, and potentially their World Cup is over. So I think that decision not to play Mo Salah, not to risk him a little bit in that first game, probably looks now like a mistake, and maybe the manager would like to have that one back.
You got to wonder if that's going to maybe come back to bite him at the end of this World Cup. And yeah, I mean, with how finicky coaching positions are nowadays, you got to wonder if that's going to be one that everybody looks back on and said, you made the mistake, you're going to pay for it now. But we do have to talk. I mean, Russia have just been incredible, which is one thing I did not expect. They have a +7 goal differential. That's not something, if you would have told me that before the World Cup started, I would have laughed in your face.
One of the surprises of the tournament for sure. I think you're getting performances out of players that you just didn't expect to be stars before the World Cup. You have Cheryshev is tied with Cristiano Ronaldo on top of the goal-scoring chart. You have Zubia scoring 2 very well-taken goals over the course of the 2 matches. I think when you have, even Golovin didn't have a spectacular game like he did in match day 1, but you have all these players for Russia stepping up. I'm not sure they have a superstar, which is honestly very scary for opponents because you don't know where to
there's
stop
not one
them.
player to target to mark up or to stop the whole game. It's an entire team. And you have to wonder if a lot of this is coming from the push of being at home and being in Russia, having the support of the home fans. You're in familiar territory. Do you think it plays that big of a role when it comes down to a match?
I think Russia have been very impressive so far, but I think we have to take a step back and look at the context. They played a very poor Saudi Arabian team in the first game, and in this game they played a team with Mo Salah kind of coming back into it and maybe the buzz around Salah took away from, kind of obscured some deficiencies in the Egypt team overall. I would be very interested to see how Russia does against a genuinely good side.
Let's say you did mention it earlier before the show started, really, that this was maybe a little bit softer of a group.
Yeah, by far, it's the weakest across the board of the groups, because of course Russia was number 1 seed and got their own group, didn't get thrown in with, and they managed to avoid probably one of the better number 2 seeds. So I think we'll see, and in the final game against Uruguay, I guess that'll be a chance for us to see them against more of an elite team.
That I will be looking forward to that game. Before we go to break, though, we have one question coming in here that I just found really interesting from Rafael Silva. Best goal of the World Cup so far. So we finished off the round 1 of all the group stage matches. So what would you say from round 1 would be your goal of the tournament, or at least goal of round 1?
For the moment, just the impact of the moment. I mean, Lozano's goal against Germany obviously ended up being the winning goal. So an amazing moment that was. I would have to say, oh wow! I mean, the Ronaldo goal. I mean, that Spain-Portugal game had several amazing goals. Yeah. The Ronaldo free kick, the Nacho goal, even the Diego Costa goal, where he just single-handedly took on the Spain defense and finished brilliantly. That game had several great goals. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? What was your goal? Golovans had some fantastic goals.
I was gonna say that I really liked. It was between 2 for me. They were both volleys. I really liked Nacho's because the technique required for that goal is outstanding, exquisite technique. You need to be absolutely perfect. And then second one that also has great technique was Dries Mertens' goal yesterday, the volley. To get it up and over the keeper like that, he was just so casual. I thought it was very stylish.
Yeah, another comment here from Lupita Gomez. Coutinho's goal, obviously against Switzerland, was another stunning strike. I mean, really, pretty good round 1 of games and goals to choose from there, and hopefully, I mean, round 2 kicks off. Yeah,
we still got another week and a half of this here. Not to mention when your powerhouse teams start going through into the knockout stages. I mean, you got to hope they rise to the occasion.
Yeah, absolutely, and actually, there's a question here from Waco, Texas Soccer Bros, asking which group. We just talked about Group A being fairly weak overall. Yeah. Which group do we think is the hardest?
I still think I'm forgetting what group it is, but Germany-Mexico's group. I think that one right now is probably the most difficult, just because we saw what Mexico could do against a powerhouse like Germany, and we know what Germany can do. I think any group with those 2 teams in it is technically going to be, in my mind, a group of death.
Yeah, that's Group F, which also has Sweden and South Korea. Also 2 pretty solid teams there. So, I would agree. That would probably be my choice as the hardest group. Spain, Portugal, having those 2 teams in the same group is obviously difficult to see who.
But it's also Morocco and Iran.
Exactly. So you expect both those teams to go through. Who knows which one will end up winning the group? Yep. But I think that group is the group with Mexico, Germany, Sweden, and South Korea is probably the closest thing we have to a group of death. Of course, not having teams like Italy and Netherlands and, of course, USA at this World Cup has probably meant that there wasn't a true group of death with like 3 really, really strong teams. But that Group F is good, and it looks like Mexico may get out of it, so that's fantastic.
That was actually a really good question. I'm glad we were able to answer that. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you guys after a short message with our goal tracker.
He saw an opening in the defence and achieved the hat-trick. It's one of the tournament's great goals. And this man is rampant now. He might have just won the cup for Germany.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our SOCCER.com live studio. I am standing here next to my favorite thing in the world, soccer cleats, football boots, whatever you call them. They're amazing, but this is our goal tracker. And starting up top, distancing itself even more today was the Mercurial Vapor 12. 16 goals on the tournament so far. Absolutely incredible goal-scoring boot. Second place, we have the Adidas Predator 18 sitting right around 5 goals. And sitting alone in third place is the Adidas X with 4. Now down here at 3 goals apiece, we have the Hypervenom, the Puma 1, and the Superfly 6. Of course, that Superfly is still going strong from Cristiano Ronaldo's hat trick. Maybe he adds a few more tomorrow. Who knows? We'll find out. And of course, down here at 1 goal apiece, we have the Puma Future, Nike Tiempo, and Nike Magista. Pretty good lineup and a lot of good, a wide array of goal-scoring boots as we've seen from the tournament so far. I can only imagine that a few of them are going to climb the charts after tomorrow's games.
It's probably going to be pretty tough for any cleat to catch the vapor at this point.
Yeah,
it would have to take
it would have to take just some absolute wonder feat of goal scoring. But you never know. I do want to take a moment real quick to tell you a little bit more about the match ball you guys have been seeing on field every single game, the Adidas Telstar. Fantastic match ball, love playing with it, but we do have a promo going on right now. It is already up to 30% off on sale. But on top of that, we have a 20% off promo, WC Ball 20. That means 20, so WC Ball 20 will get you an extra 20% off the Adidas Telstar ball. Puts the ball around $96, and of course we still have game customization if you'd like to put different matches on the ball itself. On top of that, we have a footwear promotion going on right now. Actually, I might be picking up 1 or 2 things with it if I can.
Go on, man.
I know, right? An extra 20% off your footwear. That is plus 20 should be your code if you guys find something on there you like. A lot of good Adidas, Puma, Under Armour, all of them have some great stuff on the market. Mizuno especially, some of the top-of-the-line stuff. So if you guys find a pair of boots you like on soccer.com, plus 20. That's your code. An extra 20% off. Make sure you guys go on and find something you enjoy because actually about some stuff that we enjoy right now, which is some of the product we saw on field today.
Yeah. I saw when we were watching the Senegal game, we saw Sadio Mane in the redesigned New Balance Furon. I really like the sole plate on these. It's nice similar to what it's been like in the past in terms of pattern and stud length, but I like it's kind of a redesigned upper.
It's definitely a lot softer than what you saw from some of the previous Furon models. They definitely took a new direction with this, going for more of like a softer microfiber type with some small reinforcement from that Phantom Fit cage in there. But it's definitely kind of a new look for New Balance, and I have to say it's a welcome look. I think it's one they've definitely needed. But you talked about the sole plate down here. It's actually inspired by that Sprinter spike. So it is a little bit stiffer than maybe some other sole plates like it on the market. Whether or not you find that good or bad, that's in your mind and your personal opinion. I personally don't mind it because I like the responsiveness that stiff sole plate gives you when you're towing off for a sprint. It truly is designed all around speed.
So that would be more of a forward, aimed at a forward?
Yeah, I would say probably more of your outside mid, some of your forward strikers, even an attacking mid maybe. If you're an outside back or defender that values a lightweight speed boot, I would definitely take a look at this as well. The one other thing that I do have to mention though is you may have noticed that it is a shorter lacing system through here. New Balance actually went through and reinforced through the toe box and underneath the lacing here, which is supposed to lock your foot in better side to side. So allowing for a shorter lace system that cleans up your strike a little bit, maybe adds a little bit extra fit in there. We saw Sadio Mane rocking them today, was cutting up back and forth. Looked like they performed very well.
It sounds like pretty much the perfect cleat for somebody like him.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. And of course, to match and to go along with that, his jersey from today as well. I'll hand that over to Mr. Adam here, as you can see.
Another good-looking Puma jersey.
Definitely, yeah.
Really, the lion mascot that is the mascot of Senegal on the front there. The pattern, it looked really good on field.
It did, yes.
All green, yeah.
I really like what, not Switzerland, but Puma has been doing with some of these kits in terms of that sublimated pattern, like they did with the Switzerland jersey. I don't know, it's just something that is like a little bit more personal, a little more customized than just your run-of-the-mill standard jersey, which I think is a nice little touch.
Definitely. We actually had a question come through here, again from Waco, Texas Soccer Bros. Do you think Mane will continue to carry Senegal through the next 2 games?
Well, I don't think he's not carrying that team. That team is a good all-round team, and you know, if he steps up and starts scoring as well, then they'll be a real, you know, they could be a really good contender to go to, say, the quarterfinals or so. I wouldn't see them going much past there, but
I don't see. I agree with your kind of like quarterfinals. I think once it gets there, I think maybe the quality won't be there to beat a Brazil or a Germany or a team like that. But I think getting to the quarterfinals is definitely a realistic goal for these guys. Although Mane is really the marquee player for this team, they have some really good players in the midfield, and you saw Mbai Niang get that goal today. It's really important to get him, and once you get Juve involved, you know, as we've seen with Stoke, he's a very streaky scorer, which oftentimes in the World Cup and tournaments like this, you'll see strikers who are maybe a little bit more mercurial, a little bit more streaky, catch fire and end up scoring 5 or 6 goals, and I could see Juve doing exactly that.
Let's say they did have an all-around pretty good game today. All of this is available right now at Soccer.com. If you guys do like any of the stuff that you've seen us kind of showcase here, whether it be the Senegal jersey or the brand new Furon, you guys can check that out right now at Soccer.com. And of course, if you are a Gold Club member, you guys do get an extra 10% off of that price online right now. If you're not a Gold Club member, though, promo going on right now, $10, a lifetime of savings. So that's $10, 10% off every order that you guys have on Soccer.com. Pretty good deal. I know I've been a member for quite some time. I know you guys have as well. It's a great thing to be a part of.
Yep.
So if you guys haven't checked it out, I highly recommend checking out our Gold Club. You get some other benefits and promos in there as well as your membership carries on. But with the Furon and the Senegal jersey. But now, I'd like to take a turn to talk about one of the brighter boots that we've seen throughout this tournament, the new Adidas X.
Another fantastic sole plate as well.
Of course, yeah.
That.
Definitely
Nice,
standing out.
Nice shine.
I do kind of have to apologize. I have been sneaking these out of the office and wearing these a little bit here and there, so they might seem a little dirty.
So I haven't worn these yet. What do you think about them, Cole?
They're actually much better than I expected them to be. As always with a laceless boot, you know you're going to sacrifice a little bit of lockdown, maybe side to side or front to back. But I have to say I've been extremely impressed with the way Adidas executed this laceless system. I think when I first put it on, I was very skeptical. I was very nervous. But having played a few matches in them, I think it performs extremely well. And I mean, we have a game tonight, and I'm probably going to be wearing these again. It's definitely a well-performing boot, especially with that laceless feature. It's probably the best laceless boot that they have on the market right now, just in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to trying these. I think it's a little bit different than what we've seen from Adidas in the past with their laceless boots. It's the only one without like that knit upper. So I think it's definitely something I'm interested in trying.
So I will say, I've heard from some, and some consumers are a little nervous about how structured the upper is. This one has been worn probably 2 times, 3 times by me at least. It is still pretty structured, but that's actually one of the benefits of the laceless, is the fact that it is structured. It actually provides even more lockdown side to side for your foot, which I'm a big fan of. And the amount of padding that Adidas put in this, I think is perfect. It's a lightweight boot. It fits you just like a speed boot, like an Adi Zero would, but it's got just a perfect amount of padding in there for that lightweight boot that it's not completely barefoot, but just barely above it. And it's probably one of my favorite feeling on foot. We did see Mo Salah rocking these today, scored a fantastic penalty. I mean, pretty much almost roofed it in the goal. Definitely the headliner for these, though, got to say.
Yeah, James obviously wears
James was in there as well. He was actually wearing these today.
The laced version there, and then of course worn by other really good forwards at the World Cup like Thomas Müller. Who else wears the X, Cole?
You have Thomas Müller, you have James, like you mentioned. We have Mo Salah. We have, I think Timo Werner's in the X. Mm-hmm. We have Gabi Jesus in the X.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Gabi Jesus has been expected to do really big things this tournament. There's a few others as well. Anybody basically that was kind of experimenting. I know Diego Costa's experimented with both the 18.1 and the 18 plus. Just kind of depends on what the players are wanting. I will say I've seen more professionals slip into the laceless model than I ever expected them to. But I do have to say, having worn both of these, they're both great boots, especially if you're looking for that lightweight speed boot. But on top of that, I mean, we did see a great match today with, Costa Rica, Japan.
Colombia.
Colombia. I don't know why I was thinking Costa Rica. They did
Think
have
about your vacation. Your next
I
vacation,
guess. Man, but Colombia did have, a pretty good game all around, despite losing 2-1.
Yeah, I think they were put in a hard position, and they didn't do too badly. But yeah, I mean, you're bringing over the jersey now.
So of course we're doing our jersey feature for today.
One of our favorite jerseys, I think, as a group, is of the World Cup. Just a brilliant reproduction, or like inspired by the jerseys from the 90s that Colombia wore. And there's an originals jersey as well there that's also available on Soccer.com. So let us know what you think of those Colombia home jerseys.
And ironically, it has James Rodriguez's number on the back.
Well, do you know who rocked the 10 originally? Cole there in that version? That was Valderrama. One of the only people out there that probably has better hair than you do.
Fair enough. I will fully accept that.
Valderrama, Marwan Fellaini, and Mo Salah.
This just in, Adam has been fired from Soccer.com Live for referencing Marwan Fellaini's hair today.
Hey.
But anyway, Colombia jerseys looking very good. I'm a very big fan of the throwbacks as well. And I remember when these first came in, I thought everybody in the office was absolutely obsessed with them. They looked absolutely fantastic. And they looked very good on field today.
Yeah.
So just going to see whether they go yellow or blue in the coming games in the next week or so. So that just about wraps it up for everything that we have for on field, everything that we wanted to talk about. So we're going to take another quick break and be right back with you guys here in the studio. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Soccer.com Live. Cole here with Adam and Martin. And it is now time for the best of social from our day. And we are actually going to start with some reactions from the Poland game today. As you can see here from Taylor Twellman, kind of speaking his mind, not really pulling the punch here. You know, referees may have messed up. We have actually a couple takes here. This one from Taylor Twellman. Talking about the referee team not really being on their game. Then we have Jimmy Conrad mentioning that, probably should have gotten their game a little bit more together. And then, of course, we had this one from Grant Wall, which Dr. Joe is actually Fox's, what would you call him? Their resident...
He's their expert,
referee expert. And he mentioned today that the mismanagement by the officiating crew... It could bring up, maybe after the World Cup, the fact that FIFA might need to address something like this or create a rule, something like this. Do you guys see that actually happening?
Hard to say. I mean, I think, this was probably an example of just poor refereeing in this particular instance. Just, obviously no laws were broken, but it was just kind of poorly handled, that allowing the player back onto the field. I mean, we've seen this in World Cups before, right? I think it was an English referee who gave out 3 yellow cards before actually sending someone off. So, these things happen, and maybe FIFA will look at it at the end of the tournament. I don't know. We haven't seen this sort of thing happen that much to probably need a rule change. So hopefully it was just an isolated incident.
And to wrap up our best of social today, we had this by ESPN. Their take from the games today, South American struggles, if you will. Uruguay are the only South American team to win their first game in the World Cup. I couldn't tell you when the last time that happened. Definitely did not expect Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, the rest of them to come out and drop points the way they did. But again, it's the World Cup and any team can beat anybody. So interesting stuff going on. Props to ESPN for putting that one out today. And of course, we're going to continue to move on. You guys want to give something away today?
Let's do it.
What do you guys want to give away today?
I don't know, Cole. What do you want to give away?
I don't know. Sadio Mane had a good game today. We want to give away one of his Furons?
Let's give away a pair of them.
Let's give away
not just
even
one.
better. Not just one.
You get to pick right away.
We'll give away the full pair. So you guys can win a full pair of the Furon 4 right now if you guys go to soccer.com/new_balance. That'll take you to the Soccer.com New Balance page where you could enter the passcode Etruska. I feel nice and Russian with my hat on right now, so make sure you guys go to soccer.com/new_balance. And again, the password is Etruska. You guys might need to write that down. OTRUSKA. That is the name of New Balance's World Cup pack, as you guys will be seeing on field with the New Balance Furon and Tekela.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of interest for you guys. And of course, if you guys don't know the full story behind the Furon and Tekela, I mean, Sam did a great play test on them from overseas. If you guys haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. It's on our YouTube channel right now. Go ahead and subscribe, and then go find it in our videos. So I think that just about wraps up everything that we have for you guys today. Adam, Martin, thank you guys very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Another great day of World Cup action, and only looking forward to covering more.
Yeah, let's go Spain tomorrow.
There we go. Of course, make sure you guys tune into all of the matches tomorrow, and you guys can interact with us on social media at SOCCER.COM, and as well as our live show during the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all we got for you guys today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys.